In today's world, we only watch the endings, a flashy success story or the brutal collapse. But we don't hear about the full journey that it took to get there. The late nights, tough calls, moments of doubt. On In Between Sips, we dive deep into the raw, unfiltered stories of what these business owners and leaders have been through and who they became along the way. So pull up a chair, pour a cup, and join us. We're just getting started. Because we all know the best conversations happen in between sips.
Cheers,
Thanks,
man.
Charlie, for coming on the show today.
You're welcome.
Awesome
My
to
pleasure.
have you. Quick question before we get started, though. Did you run here?
I did not. I ran this morning.
Because I think with your background, like I was expecting you to say, oh, yeah, I ran 20 miles and I just decided to pop on by the studio. We'll get rolling. No?
I don't do the long runs a ton lately.
Yeah.
It's been shorter things.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I ran 5 this morning.
Nice.
But I ran them hard.
Nice. Good. Well,
Yeah.
thanks for coming on.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this conversation.
Yes,
PT, endurance coach, owner of Cadence, right? Physical therapy. And it was fun when I met you through my mother-in-law, right? Because she's a big endurance athlete. Just real quick, imagine marrying into that family, right?
Crazy.
Like when I got to
Yeah.
know this, I was like, she's running how many miles?
I know.
She's doing an Ironman. And then
That's
I
nuts.
thought, sign me up, right?
Yeah.
Gosh.
Because what was the first distance you did?
First distance I
Yeah,
did?
running.
Oh, I mean like long distance?
Yeah.
So James and I, one of my buddies who
Yeah.
you know, we just thought, hey, let's try to run a half marathon and see what we can do.
Got it.
And then it turned into like we were there and we were still running, like, let's just go for it.
Oh my God.
My shoes were falling apart. They were like 3-year-old Saucony shoes.
You told me that.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
I bonked, right? I didn't know what bonking was. Is that what it's called, bonking?
It is. And it's when it happens, you remember it.
Yeah. So I remember we were running and we were pushing hard and all of a sudden like
Done.
And James, I remember James like, we need to stop off at a gas station.
Yeah.
He grabs like a bag of trail mix and a Gatorade. He's like, eat this, drink this. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And then, a few minutes later I was fine, but we were so close to the house. I was like, no, we can do it. And James said, no, you need to stop now. You're not. He's like, you almost crossed the street in front of cars. Like, I was like, oh my gosh. My wife didn't know about that until now. So hopefully she's not watching. But anyway, that was the first distance.
Yeah.
But endurance, running wasn't something I grew up with.
Yeah.
And I didn't know the world of it. But man, what a journey it is. I mean, that's your world every day though, right?
Yeah. I mean, it didn't start there either. I was a 4 sports. I did the athlete thing.
Yeah.
And played a little football in college. I was like, endurance sports are dumb or like
Yeah.
a lot of spandex,
What college were you at?
I was at Southwest State University. It's for undergrad, Marshall, Minnesota,
Oh,
which
cool.
is a Division II school.
Yep.
And I actually played wide receiver. And I had the reason I got into PT, I got an injury.
Oh,
And then
okay.
I got an injury in high school playing football.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to go see a PT, and the dude was real cool. And I'm like, this seems like a career I'd be interested in.
Yeah. What did you injure?
It was I played quarterback, and I got a helmet to the thigh. It was a deep thigh bruise, which is tough. So I just go to therapy and kind of work it out.
Yeah.
And he was like a cool dude, and like, this would be a fun profession. Because I knew I wanted something medical field.
Oh, okay.
And the PT thing clicked when I was, 17, 18. And then undergrad, had to go to rehab a couple of times for football injury.
Was there like a moment as you were rehabbing where that thought came up, or did you just enjoy the environment? Did you enjoy like watching your body heal and change because of what he told you to do? Like what was that moment?
Yeah. Yes to all of it.
Okay.
Yeah. I was fortunate enough, since I got to have a relationship with the PT guy, he gave me a job in undergrad, came home for summer because I lived in small town Iowa. So school up in Minnesota, come home for the summer. He gave me a job as a PT tech where you're like cleaning tables and helping patients with, getting on the table, off the table, doing laundry. And I just got to be around the profession, and he kind of included me. And I'm like, okay, this is what I want to do.
Wow.
So
Was that even on your radar though? I mean, you were football in college, you were saying, like getting after it. You want to be in medical, but
it was medical. And it's funny because I was thinking PT or medicine. So I did my bachelor's in chemistry.
oh wow.
And to this day, I can't tell you the slightest thing about chemistry.
Like,
I have my bachelor's
hated
degree.
chemistry in college.
This tea has hydrogen and oxygen in it. Yeah, H2O.
Okay. So I'm like trying to really focus in on that. I hated chemistry so much in college.
So then for PT school, you have to take all the prerequisites.
Yeah.
And I was enjoying chemistry, so I kind of just stuck with it.
Wow.
And then did the bachelor's, and then I need to say the best thing that happened to me in undergrad, I met my wife.
Really?
Yeah. So it's 30 years, and next year August will be 30 years of marriage.
Wow. Congratulations.
Yeah. So it's a huge blessing. So I got to meet her through sports. I was a football player, and she was a tennis player.
Okay.
And athletes, a lot of times in college, they have meetings together and stuff. So I met her through that.
How did you meet? Like, how did you woo her?
Well, this is funny. I was dating a gal who was friends with her. And she was dating a guy who I played football with. His name was Nick. My girlfriend was Janan.
Uh-huh.
And both of us had broke up eventually.
Yeah.
And so our junior year, so we knew each other from freshman year, but junior year we started dating. And then dated 2 years and then went to grad school at the University of Iowa.
Yeah.
Go Hawkeyes.
Just had to get that in there.
I need to. I'm a huge Hawkeye fan. She probably pathological. She did her master's in substance abuse counseling, and I did mine in PT. And then we got married down in Iowa City, and then so 96 got married.
And then what caused you? Because you've been here now for a long time.
20 years. So I graduated.
What was that moment?
Yeah, we were in Iowa City, and then my first job was in Illinois, and then I thought about getting into management, so a PT job, obviously, and then I got into management with rehab clinics, and then I moved out to Colorado through a company called Health South, and they had at the time had clinics all over the country, and then that job took me to Phoenix to manage the West Valley, so we moved down here in 2005.
Yeah.
Yep, and I was managing clinics there, and then that kind of finished, and then I started doing my own thing. I opened my own thing in 2012.
Yeah, walk us through that, because I think it's just so pivotal, right, for business leaders that are leading companies, right, but yet there's still that tug of entrepreneurship.
Right.
What was that moment like? Like, did you just come home from work one day and was like, honey, I'm opening up a business?
No, it was a slow going, because I'd been in practice for 15 years, and you kind of think, I wonder if I can ever do this myself. And I just was like, I don't think I should. And honestly, I'm a person of faith, Christian faith, and that was it. It was a message at church. Sometimes the pastor, the message was like, sometimes you got to just take a leap and jump off the cliff. And I got home that day and I thought, you know what? That's the moment. Or this is the moment. I need to just do it. I mean, be smart about it, but I had a patient following, and I knew if I started the business, I think I'd get some clientele. And sure enough, it happened. And so it was the business opened, and it was mainly PT to start with.
Yeah. Was it always Cadence Physical
Always
Therapy?
Cadence, yep.
What was the reason behind the name?
So funny. Cadence in running is a thing. It's your stride rate, how many steps you take. Cadence. Cycling, it's a thing. What your spin rate is. And so when we were tossing around names, we were like, that just fit. So picked Cadence.
That's awesome.
And did the search to make sure it wasn't taken already.
Yeah.
There's a Cadence running store in Mesa.
Oh, wow.
But it's something different. So anyway, took
That's
it.
so much better than our story with Striventa, man. It was
it's
like striving to invent. I was like trying to create a word. I was like, oh, this could be fun.
Yeah.
But then it came out Strivent. And I was like, this sounds like a toothpaste. And that fifth dentist is never going to recommend us, right?
That kind of does sound like toothpaste.
And so I had a buddy who's like a linguistics major. He visited a bunch of countries, and he's like, just put an A on the end of it. It's like, are you kidding me? He's like, no, I'm serious. And so we put an A on the end of it, and that became like the rocket ship growth symbol.
So cool.
Striventa. So it was like genius, but goof. Like yours is very intentional. I like it.
Yeah. And I like music, and it's involved in music too. Cadence,
nice.
like the cadence of music. But
do you play at all?
You know what's fun? I have singing. I sang at a barbershop quartet for I know.
What?
I got some, from 7th grade up through early college, I sang in a barbershop quartet. And we just sang at churches and like little gatherings, sang at a prom, that kind of thing. And then I sang in some weddings as solo. I'm not a...
You were a wedding singer?
Well, not that type. Not Billy, what's his name? Sandler.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a great singer. I'm good. I'm not like super good.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I love, and my parents were big music people.
Okay.
Just listening to it, and so I grew up around it.
Is that like the track inside of your shop? It's always like your songs that you're playing as the music, the background music? No,
I'm an
Come
80s.
on.
I know. I'm an 80s.
That's such an opportunity for you to
know.
sneak in a song here or there, and the patients would know. They would know. Like,
That's true. Yeah, but
80s music, by the way. You said you're 80s guy?
I mean 70s, 80s.
I think the 80s music genre for me was so awesome because for the first 15 seconds of every song, it was like,
it's
you're bobbing.
You kind of know.
15, 20 seconds,
Yeah.
every single song. And then some went great, some not so much. But everybody's locked into those 15 to 20 seconds of like, this is going to be good. This is a banger.
This is a banger. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, because you're really not a kid of the 80s.
No, I was born in 88.
Yeah, okay.
So,
anyway.
and so you open up the shop. What year was that?
Yeah, 2012.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was always Cadence.
Yeah, and I was, like I was saying, I was mainly PT. So seeing, the reason to backtrack a bit, I was seeing patients in another clinic I was working in, a lot of running injuries. And that's what kind of started nudging me too. Like, I think there's a niche here to have a practice that primarily sees endurance athletes. So I kind of started a small, the owner of the Arrowhead Physical Therapy, shout out to Steve. He was great to me. He let me kind of grow the running injury thing. So I was starting that prior to opening Cadence.
Oh, wow.
And he let me kind of start, we'd do some in-services and we'd go out to running stores like the shirt you're wearing and talk about running injuries.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I had to wear, you're an endurance guy. I had to give a little ode, right? There
give
you
a
go.
shout out Rebecca and Nathan.
Yeah.
And so then I was just seeing, okay, I think there may be an opportunity here to have a business specializing in running injuries. And then the coaching thing kind of just, that was a blessing too. That started happening.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to start helping people in their planning of their training.
Yeah.
And then the coaching started.
Well, that's when I saw you. It's like,
I
was talking to Trish about it and she was great, like showing me all the stuff she trains with. She's like, hey, just go see Charlie too. Like, because, he'll get you on a timeline. It's like, okay. And then you laid out the timeline. I thought, this is a lot of time. It's a lot of time on feet.
Yeah.
What am I doing?
Because it was a 50K. You were
it was a
doing
50K at 32 miles, right?
That's 30, well, it depends on
31.
the race, but 31.
Yeah, it was the Crown King Scramble.
Yes.
Because that's the one she did. And she just, she's beast mode. She did it, no problem. Stays at her cabin for the weekend, like no big deal, right?
True. She had the cabin up there too.
So that's why it was cool. Like she'd run it and then just stay there. And I was like, oh, that's a great way to do it, right?
Yeah.
That thing's a monster of a
straight
race.
uphill.
Yeah. So did it, when you started the business though, and you had this idea of the niche, you open up the doors and I'm assuming like flocks of people, right? Just charging in.
No.
How did it?
No, it's funny. Because you got to be careful. I did non-compete. But he was generous. It was supposed to be within 5 miles, I think. But I was like 4 or something, and he let me do it anyway.
Oh, that's cool.
Because he knew I was going to do a cash only. So my PT business and coaching is just no insurance. And so when I'm leaving, you have to tell patients that you're leaving the current place, right?
Yeah.
Where can I find you? I'm like, well, I need to be careful.
Yeah.
So just go search online, you'll find me. I was so desperate. Funny story. I was so desperate to get patients in the door. I would start asking people, they'd ask me, how much do you charge? And I had a rate, but I said, hey, I'm willing to see you for your copay.
Oh, wow.
Come to find out, some of these people's copay were $10 a visit. So I was seeing patients for like $10 a visit just to get them in the door.
Just to get some flow.
Yeah. And I'm like, I got to be okay with it, man. Because to your point, we were talking earlier, you said, I started the business with really no debt. I kept it real low key. So I felt like I had the margin to say, hey, I'll just take some patients in, start building the thing
You got to
up.
build the database up, build the role.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I had some follow me and then going out and marketing, doing some talks, and
Yeah.
that started helping.
Well, and let's back up to something that you said around like your current office and how generous he was. I think a lot of times people assume business is cutthroat and all these things, and it is. Like there are some industries and people that approach it that way. But as I've been in business, I've been fortunate to also meet great people, great clients, great employees, and it's like business doesn't have to be this way. Like we get to choose with our businesses how we define it, right? We don't have to be cutthroat. And so the fact that he was willing to do that, like that's a really cool testament to him, but also you, like honoring that, you know, relationship. And man, we need more of that in today's business day and age. But that was really cool to hear.
Great. And in fact,
Yeah.
I still rent from him. I rent space from him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's always enough business to go around. Like if you know what you're good at and you know what you suck at,
Yeah.
like just focus on what you're good at,
Good
and there's
point.
enough business to go around. I think people try to spread themselves too thin. They put toe in the water of everything just to try to get business.
Right.
So it's cool you start with that niche. Still the same niche today
Yeah.
though? Is it growing into like triathletes, cyclists?
Yeah, it branched. It was mainly runners initially, and then turned it because I got into triathlon myself, and then triathletes, coaching triathletes, some cyclists,
Yeah.
and then it even drifted into just some people who wanted to get in shape.
Mm-hmm.
And the nice thing about having treated patients for a long time is you kind of coach people in their injury recovery. So I already kind of had that, just a coaching heart mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And so it really worked for any endurance sports athlete,
Yeah.
or even someone who's not an athlete, quote unquote.
Yeah.
They just want to get in shape.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think you did dry needling on my knee when I came in.
Oh,
I
did
think
I?
remember that was the first time I ever had dry needling done.
you're like, going to stick needles in me? What's this going to do?
Yeah, I had no idea. It's just like, okay,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
trust. But
Yeah.
in terms of, you had mentioned the copay thing, right? Walk me through the first few years of business, because I think a lot of times people see the end result, right? Like family and friends. When we start a business, they don't always see the in the grind, the daily, like, man, you're putting in 12 hours a day, 14 hours a day, like awkward hours, like anything you could do to scrap together, right?
Mm-hmm.
What were some of those moments early on that you thought to yourself, am I in over my head, or I'm right where I'm supposed to be?
Good
Walk me
question.
through that dichotomy.
The thoughts were you'd have good moments where you'd fill your schedule initially, and then patients would get better and stop, or they wouldn't get better and they'd fire you,
Yeah.
because that happens.
Yeah.
Hey, I've seen you a couple of times. I'm paying cash for this. I'm not better. I'm going to go back to the old PT I've seen.
Mm.
And so you start thinking, yeah, can I? Because it was the fee for service model is tough,
Yeah.
because you are competing against all the PT clinics that offer insurance or
Yeah.
provide bill insurance.
Real quick, not to interrupt, but what
No.
made you go down that route? Because you brought it up a few times,
Yeah,
insurance versus cash. What made you decide that was the best model?
great question. That was the heart of it. You can treat patients the way you want. That's really the heart of
You
it.
don't have to worry about insurance
You don't.
dictating healthcare.
No,
Yeah.
because the big thing was for this injury, the insurance will give you 6 visits, and you get. I mean, from the business side, you would get. Let's say they give you $40 per visit. It's just the model. The insurance model is tricky because you have to see high volume of patients to really have a business.
Yeah.
And so what I was running into is you'd see 20 patients a day, and get to spend on average 5 to 10 minutes with each patient. And you're almost at the end of the day, you're kind of forget who you saw earlier in the day because it was so.
Wow.
So the big leap was like, I'm going to just do do cash only or fee for service. I get to spend at least an hour with a patient, treat them the way I want,
Yep.
treat them probably less times. Like it's not a 2 to 3 times a week for 6 weeks kind of thing. I probably only see on average the patients 2 or 3 times total.
But you put them on a training plan, so
Yep.
there's a lot of accountability on their end, though. Where
Exactly.
if they truly do want to get better, they'll follow the plan.
Yep.
But then they're just paying for more intentional time
Bingo.
while they're there with you. That's
Bingo.
cool. Yeah.
Because folks who seek that kind of care
Mm-hmm.
typically are bought into doing their own thing
Yeah.
outside of the therapy or taking the instruction and
Yeah.
progressing on their own kind of thing.
Wow.
So
Yeah, not to sidebar, sorry, but
No.
so those
Love
first
it.
few years, though, what were some of those moments that were just, in the grind? You're like, oh man, I can't believe I made this mistake.
probably the I don't know. I just when you look at the next week and not have any patients scheduled, and you're kind of like, I got to go hustle and get some patients,
Yeah.
and not being too desperate,
Mhm.
just trusting that they're going to come.
Yep.
And using word of mouth as the marketing really was my big thing.
Mhm.
Is that just asking patients to tell their friends and family about you, because like I got to you
Yeah.
through a person,
Absolutely.
and just trusting that process and having the margin that I don't have a lot of bills to pay out because I kept
Yeah.
the overhead low,
Mhm.
because I had some margin there to just build just patient one at a time, get the word of mouth out there, and I was blessed that it grew quick.
Yeah.
It didn't. So maybe I'm struggling to find the right answer for you because it was like it it started happening pretty quickly.
No, that's
which
great.
told me
yeah.
it was the right, which kind of
Yeah.
gave me the message it was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
You
No,
know?
that's great. I think sometimes like as owners, we're always behind the scenes, right? And it's like there are things that come up with employees or patients for you or wherever where it's like nothing could prepare you for this.
No. Well, I thought of a story.
Okay.
Because I haven't scaled my business.
Yeah.
I tried. I brought on some assistant coaches in the past, and it just didn't. Not all bad reasons, but a couple of times it just didn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned some lessons there that when you bring on it was contract coaches, so they weren't employees, but you just felt this tug of like, well, they're not coaching the exact same way I like it, but that's not fair to them because each coach is individual. So I kind of battled that a bit and decided that I think it's just best I just don't have contract coaches. So
You just have yourself.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just it's myself, and my wife does my books, and that's it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Was she always like in on it too? She was like, hey,
Oh yeah,
you got to do your own thing. She's watching you over the years.
huge cheerleader of mine.
That's
Biggest,
cool.
yeah. Just do it, man. You can do this, and so
Yeah.
Yep.
So then,
Great.
let's talk about you then personally, right?
Mhm.
A little bit.
sure.
You're an athlete, endurance athlete. You've had, injuries here or there. Like what drove you, to transition from from college football now to doing
Running, pretty much running and triathlon and cycling. I've done all of the events in each of those three.
Yeah.
I got fat and lazy, to be honest. I finished football, college football, and then you had grad school, and there's not much time to exercise. Well, I
Yeah.
justify not exercising because I'm busy in grad school.
Yeah.
And then I never liked just to do boring exercise. Like, why would I ever want to go run?
Yeah.
That sounds very boring.
Yeah.
But then we moved to, when the click was, we moved to Phoenix, and my manager was a huge endurance athlete. He organized a corporate half marathon. It used to be the PF Chang's it was a PF Chang's half marathon in Phoenix.
Yeah.
PF Chang's used to sponsor it, right? Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, big one. Well, they don't anymore.
Yeah.
But the PF Chang's, he got all of us corporately to do a half marathon. I said, okay, I'll
that's
train
cool.
for it and do it. Well, I
Yeah.
did it. And I trained for it, and I actually was surprised myself, and I did pretty well for what I thought. And I kind of caught the bug.
Yeah.
So this is 2008 or 7 or 8,
Mm-hmm.
and just started doing more events. Started pushing myself, try to get better, and then picked up triathlon. A buddy of mine said, "Why don't we attempt a triathlon?" So we did
Did you do the sprint or the full? Or?
Yeah. So he had wisdom. He said, "Let's just start with a short one," because I've seen the other direction where people jump into the big one first, and it's just hard. So there's distances. There's a sprint distance, and then there's an international distance, which is Olympic distance, and then there's the half Ironman, and then there's the full Ironman. So I did several sprints in Olympic, and then took the plunge, did the half Ironman, and then finally did the full. But the good advice I got was take your time, take several years to build up. Because if you jump into the full distance right away, it's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
What was the full Ironman you did?
first one was Arizona 2011.
Wow. First one.
Yeah.
How many have you done?
4.
Oh my God.
4. Yeah. But again, I've had I've DNF'd. So DNF stands for did not finish.
Mm-hmm.
The other 3 or the other 4, the saying goes, full Ironman, bad things usually happen. But if you can just rebound during the race and finish.
So I can't imagine signing up for something and the disclaimer is like, hey, bad things are going to
You
happen.
could die. Yeah.
Yeah. There will be inevitably many moments during this race where it's going to be bad.
Yes.
You just got to push through it.
The ups and downs. Well, you probably experienced it.
Yeah. I mean, it was
know?
not to your degree by any means, but doing endurance running. Yeah. It was tough. There was I did it for maybe 2 or 3 years, I think. Yeah. And there were definitely some moments where you're just running and suffering and just gotta just keep one foot in front of the other. But I think there's beauty in it, like a lot of just mental clarity, like being out and just disconnecting for a while.
For sure.
But yeah, I underestimated 100%. Like I was always working out, having I had to push myself, but I underestimated the gravity of suffering that came with endurance running.
And also knowing what I've had to learn is a bad moment will come. They always do. Just it's going to pass and you'll feel better eventually.
Yeah.
But when you're in the moment, it's like, I don't know if this is going to pass.
Yeah.
and it doesn't pass for a couple miles, and you're like, is this going to be it the rest of the way, you know?
Yeah.
And then also the other element of being a coach and also performing, the little battle I've had over the years is I coach people and then performing, and then like, well, since I'm a coach, I need to be smart with my racing because people are watching. I mean, there was a bit of that struggle of, you know what I mean? Like a little bit of, I call it pressure. Like, oh, since he's a coach, he must really know what he's doing. Well, I do know what I'm doing to a certain extent, but I make mistakes like any
in the course of 50 plus miles, like anything can happen.
Anything can
right?
happen. Yeah. And I made mistakes on, to your point about bonk. I've made mistakes on fueling, and I've made mistakes on just various things, pacing myself poorly, and then it comes back to get you, and then you have a bad race. And so, but I've thought like those experiences also have helped me coach people better.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. In terms of other experiences that have allowed you to coach better, I mean, you went through injury in college. What other types of injuries have you been through that has maybe shed some light into the, okay, I can understand what this person's going through because I had this surgery or that?
Yeah. Yeah, I've been fortunate on the injury front, not a ton there, but it's probably racing mistakes, bike crash.
Yeah.
Some mistakes I've made with on triathlon. You know, there's a cycling component, and I've had some crashes, but they were all due to my own mistake. I tried to make a move and then hit another bike and take down a couple people. I mean, that kind of thing.
Oh wow.
So teaching people like just proper bike handling. The fueling mistake, that's probably the big one, is pacing and fueling, how you go out too fast.
Yeah.
So then coaching people through that part of the racing where, hey, it's more than just swim, bike, run. It's also the fueling part of it, hydration part of it.
Yeah.
Don't start the race too quick, because if you start too quick, you're going to be in trouble later.
Yeah.
So just using those experiences that I've made the mistakes of and then conveying it to my clients, you know.
Yeah. That's fascinating.
Yeah.
How did you handle kind of the surgery? You said you had an ACL.
ACL, yeah.
Yeah.
So ACL surgery was 2000. I was playing pickup basketball in Bloomington. Yeah, same with you?
Yes. Me too. Pickup basketball.
Yeah. I remember I was 20, whatever age I was. I was already a PT a few years in. I jumped up to catch a pass, came down on the right leg, and it went. And I knew.
Oof.
I go, Dave. I yelled, Dave, I tore my ACL. First thing I said.
You knew immediately.
I knew it. Crunch. The vasovagal response where you get lightheaded. Dave, tore my ACL. Take me to the ER. So got limped to the car, got it to the hospital, and I had known a couple of the orthopedic surgeons because I was a PT in the area. So Dr. Lee comes in and says, hey, Charlie, what you do? It looks like you had a bum knee there. Does a little testing.
Yep.
Yeah, I think you tore the MRI. So then, I had the surgery in 2000. They used my patellar tendon. And again, the very fortunate, I worked for a PT clinic. So rehab started day one, and I got after it. And I tell people all the time, to your point of what have I gone through, the surgery, having gone through that, now I can empathize. And
yeah, that's a process like any other. I mean,
crazy.
I did the same thing. Pick up basketball. I was, I think, 30.
Oh, so yours, more recent.
Yeah. And it was funny. The doctor that I saw, who I love, Dr. Hansen, he was great. He said, hey, your knees naturally hyperextend this way. Like, I could have told you to stay away from basketball after 30. I was like, is there a book I can read on like how to age well? Like basketball is not that important. Right. I was just doing basketball. I was just doing it because end of workout, you go run around for a little bit. And I took a step back. I was defending a guy, took a step back and out, and my knee just buckled. And I didn't know it was torn at the time though. And so I knew a guy that kind of did the test. He's like, oh yeah, I think you popped it. And it was a ACL and then a torn meniscus.
I did both, yeah.
Yeah. And so, it was weird. It just felt loose all the time because the surgery wasn't until like a few weeks later.
Yeah, because they hold off for a while, yeah.
Yeah, and so, but that recovery process, man, I remember understanding what scar tissue is. Yeah, this is stuff you go through all the time, day to day with patients, but I remember they laid me down and they said, hey, I want you to bite on that pillow for me. I said, okay, why? And like, just do it. I was like, okay, boom, pop my knee, scar tissue needed to be popped out. And that pain, it was weird. It was so intense, and then relief right after. And after I was done, she said, man, you did a lot better. I made a Marine cry yesterday. Like, gosh. It's like, well, trust me, he's still way tougher than I'll ever be if he's a Marine. But
when she said bite on the pillow, you're like, uh-oh.
Yeah,
I'm in trouble.
Yeah, and I remember I didn't mean to, but I screamed like when she did it. It just came out, and there was like a lady who was like 75 rehabbing next to me. I scared the heck out of her. She was like, ah.
I've had stories of that when you're treating multiple patients and someone screams and the whole clinic kind of goes, oh, what happened over there?
Yeah.
Screaming.
Yep. So yeah, that's a process. I mean, it's still a process. They took it out of my hamstring.
Yeah.
Which wasn't the original plan, but after surgery, he said, hey. I just want to let you know, we went in, everything went great. But we took it out of your hamstring. It's like, oh, okay. I didn't know that was a thing. Like he kind of prepped ahead of time, like this is what we could do, but it was supposed to be the patella.
Oh, same with like my type.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the patella. But he's like, but upon looking at your knee, you have arthritis developing. So we had to take it out of your hamstring. Yep. And he's like, and I'll probably see you in, 20, 30 years maybe.
For a knee replacement.
If the arthritis continues. It's like, what a great post-op conversation. Hey, I'm glad things went well.
He's just prepping you for the next 3 decades.
Yeah. He's like, see you in 20, 30 years. Like, okay. Yeah. It's a weird dichotomy. But that's interesting that you had to go through all that because you're coaching, you're helping, but you've gone through it yourself.
Yeah.
Was there a moment in your rehab though that you just thought like, man, this is just rough?
God, I mean, honestly, it is a long time ago. It's funny to say that. I mean, it's 25, but I think the beauty of it was I could go to work because I could see patients and then just stay after work and rehab. So I didn't have any barrier. So I was motivated. I had a guy with me helping me along the way. I think I set a goal to do, back then I was inline skating. So don't judge.
I'm not judging, but I rollerbladed growing up.
Okay. So they call it, not call it rollerblading because that sounded kind of,
oh yeah.
Good, but
I was
whatever.
I was a blader.
Yeah, inline skating. So my wife had picked it up and got really good at it. She was competing, and I said, "Oh, come along." So my goal was I had the surgery in March. My goal is to do a marathon distance inline skating race in September.
Oh wow! Yeah, so I never got into like that. I was just going around the neighborhood as a kid. Yeah.
Yeah. She had picked up racing, not speed skating, but distance. And so I got into that a bit. That was actually, now that I think about it, that was my first dipping the toe into endurance sports because it's an endurance sport, that type. And she got really good at it, and I came along for the ride, and we did some races. And Minnesota has had a big race circuit, and so my goal, to your point of like what kept me motivated, was I want to do this marathon in September, so I need to rehab and get ready for it.
It was indoor, right?
No, it's outdoor.
It was outdoor?
Yeah, it's point to point. The typical race we did was up in Duluth, Minnesota, where they bus you out to marathon distance, and you skate into Duluth.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah, it was super fun. You're flying on those things. And you're in a big train, you're pacing each other like you're in a big line of skaters. And
we'll make sure to get pictures so we can work this in so that people can see you.
Oh, gosh.
Your competitive inline skating gear. Yeah. Come on now.
Let's see. I think I might have thrown those out. And delete.
That's awesome.
Now, like I said earlier, endurance sports is a lot of Lycra and spandex and
there is
funny looking. You probably saw a lot of which is the beauty of the whole thing too. Like
people wear
shapes and sizes, different people. You do, and it's whatever, man. Especially especially ultra running. Yeah, it's a different level, or it's a different type of athlete.
But then there's also the people that like want to run a marathon in a banana costume.
There's all that.
Like,
I know
that's rough.
Yeah,
like, I can barely run a marathon like competitive, not even competitively, just to finish. Yeah, let alone in a banana suit.
Yep.
Like
or the dude,
no way.
The Jack dude. Have you seen online? The Jack dude. He's jacked. Runs marathon in jeans.
Yes.
Runs a 2:40. See his time?
It's nuts.
2:49. He's flying. Anyway.
In jeans.
Jeans. He's he's in his 20s, but still, I'm like, and he's not a runner, he's jacked.
Yeah. Wow. Anyway. Yeah. Man. Well, before we wrap up, I always like to ask this question too. I mean, especially with your experience as an owner, all these things. If you could give a piece of advice to another owner or somebody in business and leadership, right? I'm sure you can give many nuggets for sure, but what's one that sticks out to you?
I think have some good people around you, and don't be afraid to maybe have that mentor to bounce ideas off and talk about struggles, and don't do it on an island, which early on I was kind of doing that. And I learned quickly I need other people around me to kind of help.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, that's the
Yeah.
perfect advice for the industry you're in, right? If you want to run fast, you run alone. If you want to run far, you run together, right? Is that
Love
the
it.
endurance?
Good
That's
one.
that's what I've been
Dang.
told.
Okay, I love it.
I didn't come up with that.
I'm going to put that on my website.
Well, I think, yeah,
Kidding, sorry.
Trisha shared that with me. James shared that with me. So I just,
No,
you
it's
know.
a good one.
But that's a really good piece of advice for sure. And man, thanks so much for coming on the
This is great.
show.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
And best of luck to you with Cadence
Thank you.
Physical Therapy in the future. Keep getting after it and help people.
Awesome. Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks,